How's it going so far?
Hey, I'm all right. How about yourself?
Pretty good.
Good, good. So we have Lowell Dean and Douglas Smith. Great. Um, Thanks for taking time out to do this interview today on behalf of LRM. And thanks for allowing me the opportunity to be able to view your movie, your film Die Alone. Uh, I won't spoil anything because we'll have this out before the release date on the October the 18th. But it was very interesting. It seems like a prepper's nightmare or SHTF extravaganza. Very well done. So if you guys want to go ahead and start out with the interview, I think we have maybe 10 minutes and I can start putting questions out there to each of you one at a time.
Yeah, I'm good to go.
Nice,
Yeah, sounds
nice.
good.
Okay, cool. So I got a question for you, Douglas. Do you prefer Douglas?
Sure, yeah, yeah.
Okay, great, great. All right. So what what inspired you to what drew you to this project?
Well, it's always the script, you read it and you turn those pages and you're like, oh, this doesn't suck. Wow. Okay, keep going. You're like, oh. And the more you turn, because there's a lot of scripts out there you read and you're like, oh God, do I need to do this?
I'm sure.
So the script was really interesting to me. And I saw a sort of pitch deck, with just imagery of what Lowell was imagining. I was actually working with Jonathan Cherry when I received the script and the pitch deck, and he was
Really?
like, "My buddy Lowell is doing this movie. Like,
Okay.
you'd be perfect for like the
All right.
lead."
Yeah. Nice.
He's
That's a
like,
good
Okay.
cherry. That's a good cherry.
thank you. And then actually that happened before I read the script, and oftentimes when people say that my buddy has a script you'd be good in. Usually the script is not good.
Right.
Like,
Okay. You've heard that 1,000 times probably.
yeah. And I remember, I think I was reading it for the first time. I was in the bath in North Bay, Ontario.
Okay.
And I was like, and I was reading it with the laptop balanced on the side of the bath, and I was just,
Wow. You were hooked
and
on
I
it
read the
then.
whole thing, and then I immediately, asked my like agent, like, is this a real movie? Is it going to actually happen? Because I really like the script, because that's always the other question.
Right.
So many, independent scripts that are like looking at actors, but maybe they're not fully financed. So yeah, and then it was a bit of for me, it wasn't as long for Lowell. I mean, sorry, it was way longer for Lowell, but even for me, we were hoping to make it in the fall, and then it
Okay.
had to push, and then we eventually made it in June. So when it didn't happen in the fall, I was a little worried that it wouldn't happen, and then I was really happy when it resurrected like a reclaimed, and
Nice.
ended up in.
Well, congratulations. I mean, it's a great film. So and I'm glad that you were able to get it done, Lowell. And I'm gonna shift to Lowell right here for a question. Now, Lowell, what inspired you to write Die Alone?
Um, I I've always been a fan of zombie movies, and I just wanted to take my own unique spin on zombie films.
Okay.
And I also just wanted to get away from society, and this film felt like a nice way to show what it might be like, a romanticized version of living on your own and the harsh realities that might come from it. And but I would say the biggest reason I wrote this film was just like that nagging theme or thesis for the film is the question, how far would you go for love? So
Nice.
I wanted to make a movie that kind of aggressively uh, unwrapped that question in ways where you might not see the answers or some of the questions coming.
Right. Okay. Great answer. He does a lot for love. I mean, it's post-apocalyptic. That I guess the atmosphere that you created there is it was unique. It was what's the word for that? It is
Saskatchewan.
hmm?
Saskatchewan's the word.
Yeah, it's I mean,
But
it's haunting just watching it. I mean, it's like there's I think her name is Merle, the zombie. I don't want to
yeah,
call it a zombie because I don't think I've ever seen any approach to the zombie genre like this, where it's it's pandemic based. It seems like, with the flashbacks, and then but it's plant-based too, which is really interesting because it just makes you want to think about the evolution of the thing, and then you actually show that when you get to see the flashback of the early stages, and great job. Yeah, it's really haunting, and it creates an atmosphere that's really really chilling there.
Thank you. I like that term, plant-based pandemic. It's like plant-based burgers.
Yeah, right. So this pandemic is it's
Plant-based.
100% plant-based, you can't go wrong with it. All right. Now let me what genres or was there a particular older films that you may have drawn on for the creation of this? I mean, it's original, but we're also inspired by other things. And so I'm just asking, just curious for the viewers.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I like a mix of genres. I don't like putting a film in a very simple box. Not because I don't like films that are one genre, but I think like my mind doesn't work that way as a writer. I like draw on a lot of different things. So I see this as, I don't think it's a horror film. I know there's horror elements. I see it as a love story, a post-apocalyptic love story. There's elements of drama and comedy as well. When I was writing it, the biggest film in my head was actually older movie Harold and Maude.
Oh,
That to me was everything. It's just like an unconventional friendship, people of different ages, forced together by circumstance. So, I mean, so in my brain, when I started writing this, at least the latest drafts, it was that idea of like, what would happen if Harold and Maude were going around in the 28 Days Later apocalypse? What would that relationship be
huh.
like? And I hadn't seen that before, so that's what gets me excited.
Very nice answer. Yeah, I can see that. Very interesting. Those folks are they're building I would say genuine connections. It feels like on the screen, and the characters spending time with each other, which brings me to you, Lowell. I'm sorry, not Lowell. Douglas, what was it like working with Carrie-Anne Moss?
It was great. I'm thinking about that, the Harold and Maude thing. It's funny because Hal Ashby is like one of my favorite directors. I went through such a deep Hal Ashby phase, and I watched all of his movies from the 70s. And my first Hal Ashby movie I watched was Harold and Maude when I was 18, doing the pilot for Big Love. Bill Paxton was like, you gotta watch Harold and Maude, brother. You gotta.
Mhm.
And Savvy Daddy's like, you gotta watch it. And I was like, all right, okay, Bill. And so it's just funny that I remember you talking about Harold and Maude. That's a movie that's very near and dear to my heart. I have the DVD.
Me too. Me too. You watch a movie like that at a formative age, and you just think like, oh, you can make movies like this. This doesn't feel
Yeah.
like most movies.
Yeah, and the music is such a big part of that, the Cat Stevens songs and the music in our film, like the Crimson and Clover song is really big part of how the story is told. Sorry, but you asked about working with Carrie-Anne Moss. I mean, it was great. We've worked
Oh, of course.
together before on 2 other films, but they were short moments. She came in for 3 days and 3 days on another one, just short
Gotcha.
little part, kind of like how the size of role that Frank Grillo has in our movie,
Right, smaller role. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so we had done that in 2011 and in 2015, and so this was I was a little nervous because I was wondering, I had a great experience with her on those movies, but this was a whole movie. We had
Yeah,
to
it's a
build
lot of scenes together. It's a lot of
yeah, a whole
evolution there.
relationship.
Yeah,
I mean,
you feel it. Yeah, I mean
yeah,
and
yeah.
it's
So I was like, I was nervous. And then we went out to dinner, and she was really excited and enthusiastic and really committed to the story. And she was on set on days that she wasn't even shooting. She
cool.
came by when we were shooting the stuff with Frank Grillo and Kimberly-Sue. You can tell when an actor is like kind of doing something just for the paycheck, and you can tell when somebody's doing it because they really believe in the story. And that was Carrie-Anne. And one day I got stranded on her side of the lake, and I had to come up to the house, and she like let me dock my metal canoe on her dock, and then she
Nice.
drove me down the lake back to that.
What? Okay. Good times. Sounds
Yeah.
like it was a blast making Die Alone. And I gotta thank you both for taking time out for the interview with LRM today. And when can folks see the film? It's October the 18th, correct?
Yeah.
You got it. VOD in a handful of theaters, October 18th.
Nice. All right. You guys have a good day. We'll get this out for the folks to see.
Thank you.
Thanks so
Spread the
much.
word. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anytime. Bye, folks.
Thanks,
Bye.
Stefan.
Yep. You're welcome. See you guys.